Thank you for viewing this Any Excuse for a Chemistry Experiment video on molecular models. Aimed at teachers, used by anyone. I'm Scott Monroe. Today we're going to be using molecular models to show the cracking of long-chain hydrocarbons. Using molecular models is a great way in your class to engage your students and bring to life those abstract ideas. It'll fit into your scheme of work after fractional distillation and finding out about the properties of alkanes, but before identifying the first four alkenes and testing them. I will ask as a starter to get my students to recall 4 ways to affect the rate of a chemical reaction. We want temperature, surface area, concentration and catalyst. The suggested technician request for this experiment is nice and easy: 1 box of molecular models. Be careful, the students are going to get quite noisy and animated with this. Ask them to remove 3 black models representing carbon atoms. Then ask them to remove 8 white particles to represent hydrogens, 12 short bonds and 2 long bonds. At this point, it's best to ask them to close the lid. Then they should be pretty proficient at this. They ask them to build propane. Once they've done that and their boxes are out of the way, ask them to crack their long-chain hydrocarbon. Now, both you and I know that propane is not a long hydrocarbon, but for the purposes of this exercise, it's going to be. Split the hydrocarbon chain into 2, one with 1 black carbon atom and one with 2 black carbon atoms. At this point, ask the students to form 2 complete molecules. No empty bonds. If the students are struggling at this point, perhaps you could show them that the longer bonds have got some flexibility in there. They should have come across double bonds in year 9, and so they can find their way making a double bond between the 2 carbons. At this point, students should be able to name the hydrocarbon with 1 carbon in it. That's methane. They might be able to tell you the prefix for the hydrocarbon chain with 2 carbons. That's going to be Eth for 2. Now, because it's got the double bond between the 2 carbons, it's called ethene. And there we have it. The products of cracking. We will always end up with a shorter chain alkane and an alkene. After the students have completed making their models, you could ask them to draw the structural diagrams for the cracking reaction they've just completed. This would be a great opportunity to ask your students about the limitations of what they've drawn versus the models that they've just made versus what they think the actual molecules might look like in real life. We could also talk through the conditions for cracking, both catalytic cracking and steam cracking. As an extension, I'd ask my students to make butane and then crack it and list the possible products. This is going to lead you neatly on to testing alkenes with bromine water and naming also those first 4 alkenes for your chemistry students. There is no cost for chemical consumables in this experiment. I hope you found this video useful. Please click the thumbs up button if you like it, post a comment. Subscribe to Any Excuse for a Chemistry Experiment. Lots more videos to come through the academic year. Thank you and goodbye.